What's up, Arbitrage Magicians? Dr. Ben here, and I am extremely excited that you are getting started with Arbitrage 2.0. Now, what makes Arbitrage 2.0 different than 1.0 is this. Once you've gone through 1.0, you should have a product. You should know that it's selling because you've gone through that process, and now you should be ready to take it to the next level, which is private labeling and building a presence behind it. Because here's the thing, even if you've already private labeled and put it up on Amazon, let's say, you're still completely dependent upon Amazon for all of your sales. And if that changes, then you're in trouble. So the idea behind what we're doing in Arbitrage 2.0 is not only to gloss over and to polish what you've already created, but it's to really build your home base, which is what I'm going to be showing you. So on the screen right now, you're looking at our Whiskey Baller site. This is a project that went through everything that we taught in 1.0, and now we are going to be showing you how it has evolved into a much, much bigger brand that is making sales. So what I want to do is we're going to show you this. We're also going to show you how we've moved Whiskey Baller to Amazon, how we're going to be moving it to some other networks, as well as how we're using social media and other traffic sources to get sales on the daily. And I'm excited for you to be a part of this, and let's get started with Arbitrage Magician 2.0.
Hey, what's up? Dr. Ben Atkins here, and welcome to our first part of Arbitrage Magician 2.0, which is kind of the second half of this. This is where we get a little more advanced. So in Arbitrage 1.0, we showed you how you go from scratch. You build a store, and throughout that process, I showed you a store called the Doxy store. And it was a store we used to sell a lot of products. It was ugly as all get out. And that's how we did it. Now, in the background of all of that, we were also working on several other stores. And one of the stores we were working on is the Whiskey Baller product store before it even became the Whiskey Baller product. So what I wanted to do is when we started going through Arbitrage 2.0, I wanted to be able to start our nice looking store and put it all together nicely. And so what we did was we moved everything from our test store over where we were originally selling the ice molds where they didn't have much going on, and we moved it into this actual full-on store. So what I want you to see is when you take it to a full branded store from a store where you don't have much going on like we had in Arbitrage 1.0 where there was no real design, this is brand new. So what you're seeing here is stats from right around a week and a half, because that's how long this has been going when we go through this process. Now that's not to say we haven't made a ton of sales on the ice molds beforehand, but this brand new store that we started to actually deck out for you, I wanted you to have a clean set of stats and pretty much a clean setup entirely. So that's what you're looking at here. Now the reason we use Shopify to basically do these stores is pretty simple. It's not just about that it's easy and that you can set this up in 24 hours. That's a huge piece of it. I don't want you having to go set a website up. I don't want you to have to go, get a merchant account the hard way. I want you to be able to go in and knock this out of the park. But the key thing is most people when they first get started selling online, they don't have the income or the want for a full tech team. And when you're using Shopify, you have probably one of the best help teams that's out there. Now, I was lucky enough to go out to the Shopify headquarters not long ago and tour, and I actually got to meet a lot of the people that are on the help team. And this is pretty much a 24-hour endeavor for these guys to make sure that they're helping their customers. And it's super easy to jump down here to the bottom left corner and click Need Help, and you can get a hold of the help center. You can hire an expert, you can go to the forums, you can always get an answer. So the reason we use Shopify is simple. We like the help team, we like the ease of use. So what I'm going to be doing throughout this is, like I said, this is a brand new store. You're getting to see it from the ground up. I did not want to come in here and show you a store where you had already made thousands and thousands of dollars of sales. I want you to watch this grow as it organically grows. This item, we proved it using the system in Arbitrage 1 that you've probably already gone through. What I'm going to be showing you in Arbitrage 2.0 is really how to set your store up to really be glossed over and to really build a full brand around it. That's what this is all about. So, like I said, I'm excited for you. You're getting to see everything from the ground up after you've already proven the item, after you've already started to build the brand, and I'm going to show you how to build the brand in this section. It all starts with what we're doing in this particular set of things. We're going to be going through how to set your store up from the ground up, what apps to use, how to integrate your email stuff. I'm going to give you lots of little tips as we go. Please feel free to hit me up using the help link that you can see on this page and let me know what other questions you have, and we'll make sure we get those videos added for you too. All right, so enjoy this process. We're going to be walking you through how to set up your store from the complete ground up once you move from a test store all the way to where you're wanting to gloss it up. Now, you don't have to set up a new store like we did. You can turn your test store into a full-on store where you're selling your item, and I would actually encourage that just so you have one account. But with this, I'm going to be using 2 accounts, and you're getting to see this from the ground up. So there you go, Dr. Ben here. I'm excited. Jump into the next video. We're going to be walking you through how to do everything to get your store set up so you can be selling within the next 24 hours or so. As we move through Arbitrage 2.0, I'm going to teach you how to brand this out, how to take pictures, how to really gloss things over. But in this section, I want to make sure that you understand how to set your items up, how to get everything up for sale, really your foundation, so you're good to go. All right, I will talk with you soon.
Hey, what's up? Dr. Ben Atkins, and in this section, I want to talk about how to set up your first Shopify store. Now, if you already have a Shopify store set up, that's totally cool. You should be able to use that. Even if you have the URL as something else or you are selling a different product, not a big deal. You can always change it to your winner. So at this point, we have something that is a product that you've tested using everything from Arbitrage 1.0. And at this point, you should have a product that you know sells pretty well and you want to kind of take it to the next level. So you have a couple options. The first being that you just kind of recycle the store that you already have, or you can start a new one. And instead of walking you through a bunch of videos showing you boring setup processes, we actually wrote out a very quick guide that you can follow along, and it's under our parent company, Fearless Social. Okay, so this is called Sold, and it's the manual to setting up your Shopify store in the next 24 hours. Now, I will ask that you do this. If you set up a new store, use the link below this video. That's signing up through our affiliate link, and what that does is it provides us with the ability to pay our staff more money to help you even more. So inside the Facebook group, I will be helping you with Shopify questions. My staff will be helping you with Shopify questions, and this helps us know that you came through us. It helps us track your store. We can help you more because of your store. Plus, it helps me finance bringing more staff on to help with the store stuff. Now, the cool thing about going through us when you set up your Shopify store is this. We have a direct line to Shopify. We've been out to their headquarters. We're very close with them. And for anything that their help people can't get to you right away, we can make sure we take care of it for you. That's another key point. Their help desk is amazing. I've said this before. Make sure you use them. So inside of this guide, we've got a couple key things. Just to kind of go through it, we walk you through the step-by-step of actually setting up your first store. So getting your first store set up, making sure that you get everything knocked out. Now let me go through this real quick. Okay, inside of Shopify, there's a couple things that I want to make sure you know. We go from the first time you hit the first page, how to sign up, what you need to select, what information you need to put in. All that is inside of this guide that you can download below this video. Now, the other key thing is how to set up your products. Okay, that's a huge one. How to set up your first product so you can get up and ready to go. Down the road in this process, I'm going to be teaching you how to make the products look really good as well as how to make this site look amazing. But inside of here, we just want you to get your product set up, the collection set up, everything good to go. Okay, now there are themes and things that you can do, but like I said, I'll be covering that a little bit more in depth down the road. So here's what we've got here. Like I said, you can go in and you can set up everything. One of the big portions that I need you to make sure that you look out for is that you check the payment options. You can't sell anything until your payment options are set up. PayPal, everybody can use, but I highly recommend using Shopify payments if possible. They make it pretty easy if you're in the US and Canada. If you're not, don't worry. Just set up for PayPal and you can accept money that way. So by the time you get through with this guide, you have to have your entire store set up, ready to take payments, and your first product put up. Now, don't worry if your product doesn't look great yet. Get something in place right away so that it's there and we're good to go. As we move through this Arbitrage 2.0 process, I'm going to be teaching you how to make everything look good, but right now just make sure we're good to go. Now, here we go with actually setting this up. Once you get everything set up, you have to actually push your store live, which means you have to pick a paid plan. Feel free to start at the $29 a month plan. We can move up later if we need to. I use the $80 a month plan because of a couple extra options that we've got. But at this point, feel free to use the $29 a month plan, sign up for it, and then you'll be able to get started. You'll be able to sell right away. Okay, so that's what you need to do. After you get through this video, make sure you go through the book that's below, and once you do that, sign up for Shopify, get everything set up according to this book, and then you will be ready to move on to the next steps. What I'm going to be covering mostly in this module is how to set up your email accounts, as well as what apps to actually install so that we can do some pretty amazing things with our store. Okay, I will see you soon. Download this, go through it, and make sure you get all this stuff done, and we'll be good to go. All right, it's Dr. Ben Atkins here. I will talk with you soon. Welcome back. Dr. Ben Atkins here. In the next little bit, we're going to be covering how to brand your product, how to build a story around it, and how to do some really cool things. So what I want to do in this section is I want to get you ready to be able to build these things. So in this section, I'm going to teach you about a very cool theme that we use on the Whiskey Baller site that can go very well for your site as well. So everything we've got here gives us this nice, clean, and very zen look. Now, a lot of people will tell you to visit the Shopify theme store to actually go find themes, but I'm going to actually run you a little bit of a different direction. What I want you to do is I want you to click the link below this video, and you're actually going to jump over to the Envato Marketplace. And inside of the Envato Marketplace, you're going to see a theme called Plain. Okay, so it's plain and it's responsive Shopify theme. And if you were to click the live preview button below, you can see this is kind of what it actually looks like if it's not in Whiskey Baller mode. So everything, you know, nice. You can have kind of a white background, a black background. Obviously, we used a black background here, so we can go down and actually click on this, and you can see how everything looks. But you could also have a nice, beautiful white background as well, and you can see how clean and zen all this really looks. So what I want you to do is jump over to right here inside of Envato, and I want you to make sure that you grab the plain theme. So what's going to happen is once you purchase this, and it's about 53 bucks right now, you're going to get a file, okay? And that file is going to download to your computer so that you can actually do some stuff with it, okay? So once you get it, you're going to unzip it, and then you're going to have a file that looks like this, and then you'll have a zip file. Now let me show you how easy this is to get it to work. What we're going to do is we're going to go to inside of our Shopify setup, we're going to go down here to themes at the bottom, and then we're going to go to upload a theme, and then you get to choose a zip file. So we're going to click into here, upload a zip file. This is very similar to how you would upload a theme to something like WordPress. Okay, then you can upload this, and once you do, you're able to select from different themes you have inside. After you get into that, you could actually jump in and click Customize Theme once you've activated it, and you can start customizing it here. Now, I'll be covering customization a few modules down the road, but this is going to get you ready to actually knock it out of the park by having the right theme on and a very clean but very unique. It's not something that most of the Shopify folks are going to have, because most of the Shopify folks are going to be getting any theme changes from the theme store inside of here. You're going to actually be grabbing yours from the Envato Marketplace. Like I said, all you got to do is use the button below. You can go pick that up, and you are good to go with the plain theme. All right, I'll see you in the next couple of videos where we're going to start to cover the apps that we use to actually run our store and how to make that work. All right, I'll see you in the next vid.
One of the easiest ways to get started with email marketing with Shopify is to use MailChimp. Now, this is something that's not familiar to most online marketers, because they don't really support a lot of the things that online marketers do with affiliate programs and things like that. But for the purposes of running an e-commerce store, the integration between Shopify and MailChimp is pretty superb. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through real quick how to use MailChimp as your primary autoresponder, just because it's the easiest to set up and the easiest to use with Shopify. So let's go through the process real quick, and I'll show you how to get this done. The first thing you need to do is go to MailChimp.com and set up an account. You can enter your details and set it up however you want it. But let me show you, once you get in and logged in and everything's confirmed, how you set this thing up. The first thing you need to do is you will see a dashboard that looks kind of like this. What you're going to do is you're going to go to List, and then you're going to go to Create List over here on the top right. Okay? At that point, it's going to ask you for the name of your list. We're going to call this Whiskey Baller, and that's what we've got. And keep in mind, your subscribers do see this, okay? So we want to be known as Whiskey Baller. All right, then you're going to type in the name, the email that you want people to see that this is from. So we're going to put that. Okay, the default from name. This is what it looks like when someone sees your subject. You're going to see your subject, they're going to see who it's from. That's what we've got. So that's going to be the name they actually see. But this could be visible, so keep that in mind. Okay, give them a short reminder of how they got this on this list. You are receiving. There we go. This email because you purchased something from the Whiskey Baller store. And then just give them the URL. Okay, there you go. And then we've got our contact information that you enter when you start. And like I said, you can do notifications, but we're not going to turn those on. I'm just going to click save. Okay? So now you've got a list for Whiskey Baller. Now, if we were to go back into list and click here, this is what it actually looks like. And they'll have all these cool little things to show you how to do it. But if we click into this, we can see all of our subscribers here. Now, the next thing we do is we're going to hop back over to Shopify, and we're going to go to this section here in the App Store. So if you're actually in your store, you're going to go over here. You're going to go into the admin section. You're going to go to Apps, and then you're going to visit the App Store. Once you're in the App Store, you're going to search for Chimpified. Okay, so you'll click that, and it takes you to a page that looks a little like this. All right, now you can watch this video and get a good sense of what you're doing because they did a very good job putting it together. But let's go ahead and click Get App. Okay, as soon as we click Get App, it's going to ask to connect our accounts. Okay, we're going to click this, and then we're going to connect to MailChimp. So at this point, it's going to ask us for our username and password. So at this point, we have to put in our username and password so that it can connect to our account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And once we get that done, then we're actually able to log in. So we're going to click the login button so you can see how this actually connects. Okay, now that we're on this page, you can see something that looks a little something like this. So you're wanting MailChimp to sync up. So it's going to ask you to select a list. Since we only have one list that we just set up, we'll select that one and we'll click Sync List. Okay, now it's going to ask you down here to actually click this. Make sure you read all this first. And then what it's going to do is it's going to pull all of your past orders and it's going to pull them in. Okay, so at this point everything's connected, and if we were to actually go back to MailChimp, we can refresh this. And now you're going to see all of your folks that have actually bought in from you. Okay, now if you see something that doesn't quite fit, you can always delete these out, but this is a good idea. Now, here's the cool thing. You can actually segment these customers. You can go through the process of actually giving them ratings based on what they buy. But this is a really cool way you can do this because of the segmentation. So we could do a new segmentation, and I could come up with, did they actually purchase, the total number that they ordered, all this cool stuff that you can actually do that makes it a little more complicated, but it does give you some very cool segmentation based on what they did. So what we could do is we could go in and we could say, who spent one order, and we could preview that segment, and it would say these are the people that actually spent on one order. So there you go. That's a really nice way that we can go and do this, and like I said, with this particular test site, that's how we import those. So with MailChimp, that's how you do it. From this point, you could start a campaign and you could actually send out something to these folks by clicking Create Campaign, and then it's going to give you some nice, cool ways that you can send out marketing to these folks. All right, past that, everything that you need to know about using MailChimp can be found inside of the MailChimp support. But that's how you're going to connect, probably the easiest to connect autoresponder, which is MailChimp with Shopify. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to connect, maybe if you're using GetResponse or Aweber, using a very cool app called Zapier. So in the next video, I'll show you how to connect those things so you can connect with your traditional autoresponder and get the same kind of ease of implementation that you would with this You just need a nice go-between. So there you go. That's how you use MailChimp with Shopify to connect very, very easily. All right, I'll talk to you in the next vid. Hey, what's going on? Now I'd like to cover the way that you can integrate an email autoresponder right into Shopify. Now, the purpose behind this is you're going to want to be able to send out follow-up emails to everybody that buys from you. And while there are a ton of apps that are inside of Shopify that you can use, I want to be able to show you how to do this the way that I do it. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why I do it this way, and then I'll show you how I actually do things. If you're using the built-in apps with Shopify, if you're connecting your GetResponse through the API, if you're connecting Aweber through the API, if you're connecting MailChimp through the API, while you can use apps, the best way that I've actually done it is to use an in-between service. And the in-between service is basically set up so you're not having to use the API the way that you do if you connect directly to Shopify. Now, this requires an in-between service called Zapier. Zapier you can have for $15 a month. You don't have to spend that. You could set up a MailChimp account. But if you're actually doing this as a business, what I would recommend is this setup. You have a Shopify store, a GetResponse account, and a Zapier account to connect them all. Now, let me tell you why we use the Zapier account in the middle. If you are connecting directly from Shopify to GetResponse, you're having to go through the API. And the way this is actually done, you're having to have confirm emails. Now, these are your customers. They've already bought, and they've agreed to have marketing from you. So you don't want to have to send them a confirm email to sign up to your list and double opt-in. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually set up a Zapier integration so that everything just connects. Let me show you how this works. We're going to go ahead and log in. I already have a premium account. You can get a premium account for just $15 a month, and it's worth every penny, not just for what you can do with Shopify and with your store, but what you can do with some other things. So let's go in. We're going to be at this screen. We're going to click Make a New Zap. Okay, so now I'm going to basically set up my triggers. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select Shopify. Okay, so Shopify here, and it's only available through premium, but for $15 a month you can have the premium stuff. We choose a trigger. So when we get a new customer, we are going to want to trigger a new Zap. I'll explain that in a sec. Now you can pick Aweber, you can pick just about every email campaign in here so that you can connect this. But with this, I'm going to do GetResponse. So we're going to do GetResponse, and every time we get a new customer, I want to add a new contact to our list. Click Continue. Now the next thing is this is great because with most of the integrations with like GetResponse or with something like Aweber, you can only connect one thing to the API the normal way they tell you to do it. But I'm going to show you now how to connect multiple stores. So if you run multiple stores, this is the perfect in-between to add to lists because we could have multiple Shopify stores but only one GetResponse account, and this is how you can do the routing. So this is just a nice in-between routing to take out a lot of the headaches and to get all of your opt-ins over to your autoresponder. All right, so I'm not wanting to add people to our Dachshund store here. I'm wanting to add people to a different account. So we're going to have a different account. So here's what we've got. I'm going to put the Whiskey Baller account here, and then we've basically just got to type in the name of our store. Okay, now it's going to jump in, and it's going to ask us if we actually want to authorize this. So when it pops that up, we're going to have this window here. We want to install Zapier. Okay? As soon as we do that, it's going to now recognize it and tell us that the account is working. We're going to click Next. So now that it's connected to our GetResponse account, if you don't have your GetResponse account connected, you can add a different GetResponse account, but I have this set up to our niche account. We're going to test this account to make sure it's working, and it is. Now, we go in and we say, only trigger a new customer for Shopify Win, and we can have a new filter, but I'm going to just click Continue right now. Okay, now let's go through this. What campaign do we want to put people into when they become a new customer? So it's going to actually go in and it's going to find our campaigns. Now, so what we're doing is we would go in and we'd be looking for the campaign. Now, we've already set up a campaign inside of GetResponse called Whiskey Baller Customers. Now, you can find out how to set up new campaigns through GetResponse, Aweber, whatever you happen to be, but you can actually go in and set it up inside of here and get that done. But once you've set it up, you're going to be able to see it in Zapier. After that, we've just got to insert fields. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this, And now we're going to look at all kinds of different stuff that we've got. So this is all the stuff that is actually thrown in to Shopify when a customer purchases. So we're going to have to insert a field. Now we're looking for a name. So I want my first name and I want my last name. So first name, last name is the name. And new contact will be added if not already present. Okay, so if they're not present, they're going to be actually added in. Now, if we're going to start them on an autoresponder sequence, you can actually go in to put in the cycle. So we can say, what day do we want these people to be put into the autoresponder cycle? So you can go down and you can actually pick that. If you have an autoresponder set up, something that you're going to send them automatically, then you can pull this in and you can say what day you want to actually start them on. But as of right now, we're not going to insert them into the cycle, okay, if we left this blank. If we just put 0 and we insert 0 here, it's going to basically start your autoresponder cycle from the very beginning. All right, so let's click continue. Now here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to test this trigger to make sure that people are added. Okay, so we've got some samples here. We can actually test success, success, success. And if we were to go over, it would have added this. Now sometimes this can be delayed, but let's do a quick check. Okay, so no customers yet. And what happens is if you see this, don't worry. It's working to add it. And it may take a couple minutes to pull from your account, your Shopify account, and pull to your GetResponse account, your Aweber account, whatever. I actually wanted to show you this so you wouldn't freak out. It's not always instant, but it is going to add everything that you need into your account. And like I said, it'll be there after a couple minutes. Typically, this takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to add them. But when they do get added, like I said, they'll start the autoresponder if you've already programmed it in something that you want to send all of your customers. Okay? So we've got that. After that, we hit continue. Okay? Now we have to name this. So I'm going to put this Whiskey Baller Customer Emails. I'm going to turn it on. Okay? So once we do that, you're going to see it here. So real quick, let me tell you what's happening. Every time we have an order come through on Shopify, it is going to add that new customer to our GetResponse list. So that if we've programmed in an autoresponder message or a follow-up sequence into this, it's actually going to start marketing to those folks. All right, so you can basically go into your GetResponse account, set up an autoresponder sequence, and you can market to them on autopilot after they've bought the first thing from you. This is great for upsells. This is great for just customer communication. This is a great way to let your customer know you're good. Now, the cool thing is you don't need to do much in the way of this as far as letting a customer know their order's been shipped out. That's all handled within Shopify. They actually send emails out for you. And if you actually fulfill an order, as we'll go through in a different section, then you're pretty much good to go because Shopify is going to let them know. But if you're wanting to do some actual marketing, you want to set this up by creating an autoresponder inside of whatever email program you're using. Now, I know this is an extra expense, but the nice thing is when you set up this app, you're going to make sure that all of your leads always get there and that you've got a nice fluid process for your customer. It's not asking them to, double confirm to their list because you went through the API. It's just going to easily integrate them. And for about $15 a month, that's pretty stinking good. All right, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed the Zapier and email walkthrough. Like I said, not only can you do it with GetResponse, pretty much every autoresponder under the sun you can put in there, and it will make sure that it connects the dots for you, and it connects all your new customers in your Shopify account to whatever autoresponder you may be using. Like I said, I use Zapier for a ton of different things, but this is one of my favorites because it really eases the process of adding people to our list. All right, Dr. Ben here. Hopefully you love that. This is some advanced stuff on how to set up your emails. You can do it a different way, but I can promise you you're going to have a whole lot more headaches than if you just use Zapier to connect whatever autoresponder you're using with Shopify. To most, it may seem like an extra step, but trust me, it is worth every penny to have Zapier watching things and to be making sure all of your leads make it over to your autoresponder. All right, Dr. Ben here. I'll see you in the next video.
Hey, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and first thing I want to do when we get into apps is tell you about probably one of my favorite and simplest apps, which is for customer service. It's called Contact Form. Now you can find it by going to the Shopify App Store, and you can do that by clicking Apps, visit the App Store, and then you can put Contact Form, and it's going to be this one with the mailbox. You click that, and then you click Get App. Okay? So it's a one-time cost. It's like 14 bucks, but let me kind of show you how it works. Inside of this, we click here, and it's going to open up. We can basically give the contact form a title, put in an email address that we want to send whatever they put in there to, make what we want the tab to say, and we can make the tab left or right. Now when I say tab, this is what I actually mean. If I were to actually pull you to the site right now, if you look over here to the far right, you can see a red tab that says questions. We click that, they can put in their message. Now once their message is put in here, we are sending an email to our email address, and it's a really easy way to start doing customer service and to not have to invest just a whole heck of a lot to get it done. So it's that easy, and like I said, all you got to do is install the Contact Form app, and you're good to go. All right, Dr. Ben here. Like I said, super short, super simple. We've got a few more things that are going to be a little more in-depth than that, but with this one, why go hard when you can get started with something that's super simple and it goes to your email that you probably already use. All right, I will see you in the next video where we're going to talk about some more really cool apps.
All right, the next must-have application in your store is the product upsell app. Now, obviously, you don't need this until you get to the point where you have two products, but when you have two products, this is something that is absolutely excellent for you to have. So let me show you how to get this. So you're going to go over to the Shopify App Store and just search product upsell, and you'll see it looks like this with the B. Okay, so this is the one. You'll see this lady on the video, and just click Get App. Okay, now this is something that you will have to pay for monthly, but you do get a trial to check it out. So when we go over here, you'll see it inside of your Shopify setup in the app section after you add it. Let's click into it and see what happens. All right, so this is the basic setup of how you do it, okay? So what we want to do is you want to actually go through the process, and they pretty much walk you through it. So when we look at this, you can see there's several things that you can look into in their instructions and pretty much follow along. They even give you a nice video as to how to do it. But let me actually walk you through a little bit so you can see how it all comes together. All right, so first things first is we're going to jump in, we're going to go to current offers. And then we're going to hit create new. So what we're going to do is we're wanting to basically display offer to a customer when they click the checkout button, display offer when the product is added to a cart, or offer products automatically added to the cart on load. Okay, so this one we're not going to pay too much attention to right now. The real decision is, are we going to offer this to a customer when they click to go check out, or are we going to offer it to when they add it to a cart? We're going to do this to add to a cart. Now, what this is we're going to actually go in when a customer clicks, hey, I want this, we're going to add them an upgrade. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in, we're going to basically call this. This is going to be the flask offer, okay? So we're going to give it an offer title. So upgrade your drinking experience, and that's what we're going to have to put. So upgrade your drinking more. Let's try that. Let's see. Let's put in a description, something to the effect of I'm just going to put the name of my product, 2033 flask to your order to drink in style, even when you're on the go. Okay, so we've got that. Now we get to go in and actually select our products. And what's cool is it's going to actually show all of our products. Now I don't have any pictures in here for this one yet because it's not live, but I'm going to add this one into the whole setup. Okay, so we're going to add that there. And we're wanting to make sure that we've got that. So now we've actually selected the product. Make sure we get in here, make sure it shows it. Okay, so that's our selected product, and we're going to actually continue with that. Okay, so we've got that selected, and we're going to actually go through, and you can limit these, you can do disclaimers, you can do all kinds of stuff. Now, what is going to actually trigger this particular offer. Now, I want to trigger this particular offer only when someone has selected a product, okay? So if someone selects this particular product, I'm going to say, okay, what product do I want them to select? We're going to do our original Whiskey Baller product, okay? So that's what we've got. Any of those that they select, this will be set up for them. So let's click continue, and then let's go create. Now it's going to do this. If you don't uncheck these, it's going to say, hey, why didn't you check these? So we're going to take those out. You can also do it by price if they spend so much money, or if they do it between a certain date. We don't really care. We want it to go all the time. But this thing, if the product is out of stock, we're actually going to tell it to not trigger it. Hit create, and now we have our particular order. Okay, so this is what would pop up. Upgrade your drinking more, add this, and this is what's going to pop up if they add this to their cart. And we can turn this on, we can turn it off, and we can even go in and edit the triggers from here. And then you can basically follow your stats as you go along. All right, so let's jump over to our actual store, and I'll show you how this works. All right, so quick refresh. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and we're going to add this to my cart. And immediately we now get the upsell. If I had my image done and in here, it would also have the image, and they could add this to cart, or they could just click continue. Now, because we didn't do anything here, it's no upsell. But if they had added to their cart, they would also see the flask offer in here, and that's how you do it. Now, this may seem like a minor thing, but the key is this is how you're going to make a ton more sales really, really fast. Plus, if you're shipping off from one place, you can ship everything all together and even save on shipping costs. There you go. That is the product upsell application. It's awesome. It's one of those key applications that we use, and it's by Bold, and I absolutely love it just because it helps us make a whole lot more money without much extra work. It really turns the traffic that you already have into, well, more money. There you go. I will see you in the next video where we're going to talk about even more cool apps. All right, welcome back. Dr. Ben here, and the next really cool and super simple application I want to talk to you about is something that's going to save you a lot of trouble. So something I want to talk about really quick is I want to show you on the dashboard some very interesting stats. And like I said, we've been running this particular store maybe 7 to 15 days. Okay, so let's actually look at our last 90 days. And obviously we've not been running this for 90 days, but let me kind of give you what we're seeing. So out of around 3,000 people that we've driven to this store using ads and different things, referrals, all kinds of things, out of all of that traffic, this is what we got. We have seen about 352 people actually add this to the cart. We've seen 132 people actually reach checkout. And of those 132 people in this particular store, we've had about 17 that have actually bought. Okay, so that's some really easy, light stats, but this is probably very similar as to what you're going to be seeing when you first get started with your first major store, which is why I wanted to, take you back to basics. I didn't want to show you a bunch of fancy stats from what we've been doing over the last 3 months. I wanted to show you what it's going to look like when you start. And this is with very minor traffic coming to a site. So check this out. So 132 people reach checkout. 17 actually order, which means that's not a great conversion rate. Okay, now what could that be? Could it be that maybe they saw shipping, or could it be that maybe they were just checking out to see what the process looked like? There's a lot of things that be going on, but what if we actually tried to save these things? So of those 132 people, what could we do that would really help us convert? So that's where we get into something called the Abandoned Aid app. Now, Shopify has some built-in stuff, but to be honest with you, I really like the Abandoned Aid app a lot better. So let me click into it and show you what it does. So you can actually look for this inside of here. You can type in Abandoned Aid, and there it is right there, and you can click on it. It'll take you to this page. You can click Get App. It does cost $10 a month, but worth every cent when you're driving real traffic. So when you go into the Abandoned Aid app, it's going to tell you all of the people that went through the process and actually started to order. So they put in their email address, they started to order, and then for some reason they ducked out. Okay, so here's what happens. It's going to instantly send an email. Well, not instantly. It's going to go basically on what you said, but we're going to send an email one after they abandon their cart. Okay, and this is the email address you're going to send from, and then it's got a really cool built-in template and it pretty much is set up good to go. Now what's cool about this is this: 1 hour after someone abandons their cart, they're going to see something that says pending order at, and whatever the name of your store is. So for us, it would be pending order at Whiskey Baller. So inside of their email account now, they've got a nice little email, and what's cool is if you see this email, it basically gives them a link to come right back to the store so that they can come purchase and make sure that they get what they left. And the really, really nice thing is when they actually come to their store, it'll usually still be in their cart, so they can just click the cart and actually go to the shopping cart. So really simple app. There's nothing over the top. You tweak a couple settings, but most of what this does is it looks at whatever you've set up in here already, and it just inserts it here. And it actually calls the customer by name, which is very, very cool. Over time, this costs you about $10 a month. The cool thing is you can absolutely track how much money you've actually recovered with this. As you can see, it's not emailed out this, and I actually just did a fake order so you guys can see this right on. We just installed this on our store probably last night because I knew I was going to be talking about this, and this is the first one. It's going to be sending out here pretty quick, and then it can tell us if we actually recovered the order or not. Now here's the really, really cool thing. I know from using this on our test stores and on full-on stores we have elsewhere, this thing works like a freaking charm. Plus, you can see how much money it's actually made you every month. So there you go. That's the Abandon8 app. I absolutely recommend it. It's worth every cent that you will pay every month if you're driving any sort of traffic to your store. There you go. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be talking about another cool app. All right, Dr. Ben here, back with you, and this is the final basic application I'm going to be showing you. Now, I've got a lot of really cool applications that I'm going to be giving you as we kind of evolve, but this last one is one that I think is very cool, and it's going to save you a ton of sales in the long haul. So what I want to say about this is, like I said, I'll be adding a ton of other stuff. The reason that we covered these apps is because these are the basis of making sure you convert really, really well, and that you've got some very cool things going on in your store. So the last one I'm going to cover is this one that's called Exit Pop-Up. It's by a company called PickReal. So how you actually find it is you go into the Shopify App Store, and we're going to actually search PickReal, and you can see it's the little hook here, and you should be able to select it, and there you go. So this is the one that you actually want. We're going to click Get App, and then it'll install in your store. Now, when you actually click on this, it's going to have you set up an account if you've never set up one before. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. And this is actually something that's hosted off-site. The cool thing about this is you could use it anywhere. It doesn't just have to be a Shopify store, but we really like the way they do it on Shopify. So I'm going to show you, after we get logged in, I'll show you how to set up your actual pop-up. And this is going to be an exit intent pop. So when they try to leave your store, this will actually pop up, and I'll even show you where to put the code inside of Shopify, which some people get a little scared of. Don't be. I'll show you how it works. I'm going to show you how to make sure that you actually install the code correctly. All right, so check this out. This is a brand new install. We've not even upgraded to a paid plan. I don't want you to upgrade to a paid plan until you get this thing installed and ready to rock. Now, some benefits of installing to a paid plan is when we have leads in here, you can actually export these to your mail app. So our MailChimp, all kinds of things. So if we're doing an actual opt-in off of the Exit Pop, then we can export it to a possible customer list, okay? And there's a lot of things you can do with email automation there, but you can't do that until you've actually upgraded. But the nice thing is you can test this out before and see what kind of leads you get beforehand. So with this one, this is one of the ones that we've actually collected, and you can see I got my email address in here. Now you can do either email pop-ups or non-email based pop-ups, but let me show you how this works. So what we're doing is we're actually going in and we're going to build a template, and we're going to go to the visual editor to build a template. Now it's going to actually ask us if what we want to do. So with this first setup, I'm going to say I'm going to create an abandoned site saver, and I'm going to say I'm just going to collect email here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click next step. Now you can upload your own design, which is cool, or you can actually go in and you can set up where you can do some really cool things with what they've already got built. So with this one, this is just a $10 off that we can do. And what I'm going to do is I like that. Let's go ahead and select next. So what's cool here is they let you actually drag these over. So for the no thanks, I've got my cancel button, and I'm going to actually drag this over this. And this is probably my favorite part about the whole thing is how easy they make this. The submit button, I can do this. And then for where I'm going to put my email in, I'm going to do this. Now what you may notice is this is just a super simple way to build any of your images, anything that you create, anything you have someone else create, if it's very custom, so that you can actually put an email input over the top of it. So this is probably why I love this app the most and why it's worth paying, because you can really turn any image into an opt-in form. So let's click next, and then you're going to tell it, okay, email options, what are they going to do? What's going to be the text that's going to show? Input your email for discount. Okay, and then where am I going to take them? Am I going to show them a message? I can say enter coupon code, and then I can give a coupon code. So I would say for the Whiskey Baller, Whiskey33 VIP would be the code, and that would be actually what it says after they opt in. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit create. Okay, so we can now go to the template list, and I can actually show you what this looks like, and I'll show you how to actually create the coupon code here in just a second. But first, let's look and see what this looks like. So watch what happens as I start to move my mouse off the screen. Okay, it pops up, and look, we can put in our email address, and then you can click submit or no thanks. We're going to click this, and yeah, there you go. It gives you the coupon code. So I had that blanked out so we would actually have a $10 coupon code. That works pretty well, but let me show you something that I think is even cooler. This is what we did, and this is what I actually recommend, so you can get them kind of in a loop here. All right, so we had a Whiskey Baller discount. Watch what happens when I move off screen here. All right, so very branded. There's our image. They actually have to click to get the coupon code, and look where this actually takes us when they click on it. Okay, and I'm going to open this in the new tab so it actually opens. So we've got a nice little page. We just built this out. I actually use Lead Pages to build this, but any website, any WordPress site, you can do this on, whatever. And it tells them you can use Whiskey VIP to get $5 off and add the item to your cart. Enter the coupon code when prompted in step 2 of the checkout process. So click to use this coupon now. Okay, so watch this. We go in. We've got our item. I'm going to add this baby to the cart. There's my upsell app popping up. Nope, don't want that. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to check out. And we've got all our information here. Let's continue to the next step. Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything here. Oops, there we go. Make sure we've got our address right. That's the great thing about Shopify is they always do the verification for you, so you don't have to worry too much. All right, and then we're going to actually continue the next step. And now here's my coupon code. So Whiskey33 VIP. They click apply, and then it gets taken off of the order. So there you go. So now they've got a reason to actually jump in and use the code. Now, how do you set up the coupon code to go with whatever you use inside of here? And that's the real test. Like I said, if this had been real, the lead would have shown up here. How do you actually enter the coupon code? Well, here's how you do it. You go to the dashboard, and underneath the Shopify dashboard, you go to discounts. Okay? Now, I've got this one created here, but check out how you do it. You click add discount. You put whatever code, our coupon code. You can set limits on it, and you can say either I want a percentage, I want free shipping, or I want a dollar amount off. Let's say we want $10 off because that's the one we created. You can set an expire, or you can set it to not expire, and we select save discount. And now you can give this to anybody. You can use this on Facebook. You can use this with the Pick Reel app to put it in there. You can put it, like I said, like what we did here. You can do whatever you want with it, really. So that's how you create them, and that's how you couple it with the Pick Reel application. Now the cool thing is every time I'm in Shopify and I click on this and log in, I'm able to see a full dashboard of how well this stuff is done. Plus, I can now import all of the leads that we got from opt-ins if we use the opt-in form into one of our autoresponder services. So like I said, that's closing out what I would say are the essential apps for everybody who is ready to take it from a test store all the way to your next level store. These are the ones that you really got to have. Contact form, product upsell, abandon aid, and exit pop-up. All these others I'll talk about very, very soon. Plus, I've got some other things up my sleeve I'm going to be showing you, but you don't need to know about those until we get to that section of the actual training. All right, Dr. Ben here. Hopefully you've enjoyed the application setup. You'll notice I didn't pile 10 different apps on you. I want it to be simple. These are the applications that are going to be extremely powerful for you to run your store in the next little bit. I'll make sure I hook you up with some other cool ones as we get more advanced in this process. All right, I will talk with you soon. In the next video, we're going to be talking a little bit more about how to manage orders as they come in. Super simple process. It's going to be a review for some of you, but I want to make sure we cover that so you know. All right, I will see you in the next vid. All right, so in the next module, we're going to be talking about how to go in and actually start to source products. We're going to be talking about how to get products, how to communicate with sellers, how to get the products that you want, how to research products for the first time. Now, you may already have a product. You may have been selling it already. You may be testing it. But before we dive into that, I want to do one more quick video where I'm going to show you how we fulfill orders on the daily. And then I'm going to give you kind of an idea of how we do some very interesting things with having people log into our accounts so that we don't even have to check orders on the daily. Now, I'm going to be blocking out some of this so we protect the names of our customers, but I'm just going to show you how all of this actually works. So every day, I actually have an application on my phone that tells me when we get orders in. I don't manage all of these orders, but I like to watch and see kind of what our sales volume is for a brand new store when we open it. So what happens is every day you're going to get an order and you're going to see a new order hit. And what you can do is you can click into the actual order. Now, you may see here on the side that it says paid, and it says whether it's been fulfilled or not fulfilled. So this is how it works. You click into the actual order and it gives you all the information on the customer. Now, what I do a lot of times is if we're sourcing through a local company, I'll actually send this to them, and you can actually send them a direct order. Okay, so a lot of times the real old school way to do it is you click print, and then you can save as a PDF, and then I can email this PDF to my supplier. So if I get 2-3 orders a day, that's super easy to do. When you actually have the order fulfilled and you have a tracking number from the person that's sending it, that could be you click fulfill, you put in the tracking number, and then it will send a notification to the customer with the tracking number so that they can track the item themselves. Okay, all this is done within the mechanics of how Shopify runs. When you click fulfill item, it's going to mark it as fulfilled on this page, and then you can actually go in and archive the orders. Now, some interesting things that I'm going to be showing you on this page. Number one, I'm going to be showing you how to set up an account so that the person that's doing your fulfillment, like one of the fulfillment places we use is actually a local fulfillment company. So I've actually set them up with an account to our Shopify where they can go in and check it daily and do the shipments themselves and also mark it as fulfilled. I'll show you exactly how to do that in the next video. One of the other videos that's going to be on this page is a video where I'm going to show you how to set up something that automatically emails these orders to these fulfillment houses if you don't want to give them a login. I highly recommend the login route, but if you don't want to, then that's okay. So that's all you have to do. If you're doing this in a very manual way, you can go in and just straight up set this up so that you can jump in and actually send out the order this way, okay? But if not, then we have to go in and do a couple other things. So the videos that follow, I'm going to be showing you how all that's done. All right, I'll see you in the next video. All right, continuing our conversation about fulfillment. Let's say that you have hired a local fulfillment company or a fulfillment company that wants you to send them orders by email. And instead of doing it manually, I want to show you how to set up Shopify to actually send them the order, all the information they need to set it up. This is an alternative to actually giving them an account where they can do things. And like I said, I would prefer to give them an account. But if they'd rather have orders by email, maybe they're a drop shipper or maybe they're just a fulfillment company that wants an email, this is how you do it. All right, so you're going to go down to settings in your dashboard. You're going to go to shipping. And then you're going to go down here where we've got fulfillment and drop shipping. This is also where we're going to set up some Amazon stuff later on. But to get started, let's go in here and let's click activate. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to give the name of the person who we've actually set this up. So our fulfillment house. And if I could spell, it would be a perfect video. But there we go. Our fulfillment house. And then email at full house. And whoever you happen to use, this is good. I have several local people that we take our items by, they package them up, they ship them for us, they get better rates. So this is what we're doing. So you save this. Now what's going to happen is every time that an order goes out under certain items, it's going to be sent to this fulfillment house. Now you can do this per item. So I could have 4 different fulfillment people and they do 4 different items and each of them gets an email. Let me show you how that's done. We go in, we go to our products, we select, let's just say our flask here. And within this section, I can actually say who is the person that's going to be taking care of this item. So what we're going to do is we're going to inventory and variance. We're going to click edit. And now I can set up fulfillment. So I just set up our fulfillment house. Now every time that an item actually goes out, it's going to send it off to them. And this tells Shopify to send that email to them and not to one of our other fulfillment houses. Okay, so that's how you do it on a product basis. Now you also need them to send you the tracking numbers back so that you can actually mark fulfilled. And that's why I don't prefer this method, because they still have to send you something back. You still have to go in, you still have to click in here and click fulfilled. So that's not my favorite way to do it. But in the next video, I'm going to show you how to set up an account for your folks. So if you have a fulfillment house that will be completely cool with logging in and pay them a little more to log in and do all the fulfillments and put the numbers in for you. If you have someone that's willing to do that, in the next video I'm going to show you how to get them actually inside of your Shopify account so they can monitor your orders daily and actually take care of filling your orders and putting in the tracking numbers, and then Shopify does the rest of letting your customers know. All right, so we'll cover that in the next video. Hopefully that shows you how you can set up the email right inside of Shopify so that you can get everything fulfilled very quickly. All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right, probably my favorite way of doing shipping is by setting up an account for your fulfillment house. Now, this is not something you use if you're using Fulfillment by Amazon, which we'll go over later. But if you have a local fulfillment house or you have someone local that you've hired to do all of your fulfillment for you, this is absolutely my favorite way to set things up. All right, so here's what you're going to do. Inside of your dashboard, you're going to click into settings, and then you're going to go down into your account. From there, you're going to scroll down and you're going to basically add a staff member. Now, the cool thing is you can always kick these people out. You're going to always kill their accounts because you are the master account. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to go in and we're going to add a staff member. So what I would do here is I'm just going to put in the name of a staff member. All right, so I'm just going to put in Ben Shipping. Now, this would be the name of the person who's doing the shipping for you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put just a fake email address here right now, and then I'm going to actually send an invite to this person. Now, there's an invite to this person. You can see that it says full access. We actually don't want them to have full access. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this here. And when you get into here, you can go into the actual access that they get. So we're going to limit admin access. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and I'm going to check off everything except for orders. Orders are the only thing that I actually want them to be into. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to click save. And now when our person logs in, they'll be able to see these lists, but the only thing that they're going to actually be able to do is click into orders. Everything else is basically blocked off for them. But when they click into orders, they're actually going to be able to see all the orders, and then they can go in and mark things as fulfilled once they get it shipped out and they have the tracking number. So that's how you do it. They now have their own login. Once again, they just click settings and they go into account, and then they've got their own setup. This also emails right to them so that now they can do everything from your Shopify setup without basically exposing your Shopify setup. It's a great way to have your staff on board as well. All right, it's Dr. Ben here. I will talk to you very, very soon.
All right, so you've been through Module 1. What is coming up? What is next? What do you have to look forward to in the upcoming edition of what we've got going on here? So in Module 2, which is coming very, very soon for you, we're going to be talking about finding products to sell and private labeling. We're going to be talking about how to use Amazon for competitive research, how to gain more knowledge even if you already think you have an item picked out. We're going to talk about the process of finding products to private label, how to communicate with sellers on Alibaba, and ordering your products and what to expect through the process. Now, you may think you have a decent idea of this, but what I would like to do inside of Module 2 is I want to get you really prepped. Now, make sure you don't move on to Module 2 until you have Module 1 ready. We want the store ready so that when your items finally do arrive, you're going to be ready to rock and roll. Now, this is also keeping in mind that you've already tested some things. So I do really want to make sure that you've gone through Arbitrage 1.0 first and you've done our whole eBay setup so that you can test everything and get everything ready to go. If you've not tested through the arbitrage process, which is kind of the whole point of this course, then you're really not ready to start ordering through a seller where you're having to order a lot of products, and you're not really ready to start private labeling yet because you might not know your audience as well as you think you do. So in Module 2, this is assuming that you've gone through Module 1 and you've been through Arbitrage 1.0 and you've tested your product and you have a decent idea of who your audience is. So in the next module, make sure your store is ready to go because we're going to start jumping in to getting products ordered and private labeling that product. All right, I'll see you in Module 2.